Okay, guys, so we're going over point of view again today. So remember, point of view is the way, or point of view is the view from which the story is being told. So who's telling the story? Is it the author, the narrator, or the character? Okay. And so we talked about how there is first person, and that is a character within the story is telling the story. So clue words that you'll find are like I, we, me, us, mine, our, my, ours. So anytime you're reading a story and it uses a lot of those clue words, that's first person. That means a character within the story is the one who's telling the story. Second person is the narrator is talking directly to the reader. So it's not the character, it's the narrator, it's the person who is narrating the story is talking to us. So they're going to use words like you, your, and yours. And then third person is a narrator outside of the story is telling the story. So the narrator is telling you the story. So they're going to use clue words like he, him, his. So they're talking about the character in the story. He, him, his, she, her, they, them. They can also use the actual character's name. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So everyone should have this handout, point of view, practice 2. We're going to do the front page together, and then you're going to do the back of the page on your own. So just like yesterday, we're going to read, and I'm going to highlight some clue words to help us figure out. So it says, last summer, I wanted a new bike. Molly, we can't buy everything, my dad said. Money doesn't grow on trees. My dad explained that they had to buy food and pay the bills first. Despite my disappointment, I decided to work to earn the money I needed for a new bike. I washed our neighbor's car, pulled weeds from my grandmother's garden, and mowed a few lawns in our neighborhood. Before long, I had earned the money to buy my new bike. So some of the clue words I have is I, my, our. Okay, so using those clue words, I know that we are in first person. Okay, first person. And I know this because the character in the story is telling the story because they're using words like I, my, me, our. Okay. So let's look at the second one. I was nervous when it was my turn in the spelling bee. My legs were shaking as I got up to walk towards the microphone. I felt lightheaded, and my palms were sweaty. I couldn't wait until this was over. My voice cracked as I started to spell my first word. Okay, so let's look at some of these clue words. I see see my and I. So that is telling me that this is in first person because we know that the clue words I, my are words that are clue words telling us that the character in the story is the one telling the story. Okay. Number 9. Emily and Sarah had been best friends since kindergarten. They had always been in the same class until this year. Emily wished she could see Sarah more, but she knew that no matter what they would always be friends. Every day they would stop and talk to each other in the hallway. Sometimes they were lucky enough to eat lunch together. Today Sarah was going to Emily's house for a sleepover. They had been waiting for this night for months. So let's kind of look. I see keywords like she. I see their names, Emily and Sarah, so we know that they're not the ones talking. So that's telling me that this is in third person, that the narrator is telling the story because the narrator is using the characters' names and keywords like she. Okay, so your job is to do the back of the page. You're going to do 10, 11, and 12, and you're going to tell me if it's first person, second person, or third person, And how do you know? What clue words tell you the point of view? Okay. I will post these posters or charts on Canvas so you have that to reference back to. All right, guys.